at the appropriate time. But basically, just the council and those giving reports need to be unmuted all the time.
Okay, we're trying to make it clear that everybody has their phone on with no speaker phones on.
No speaker phones, and hit mute so that you can hear us, but we won't hear anything on your end. So if a dog barks in the background, we won't hear that. So they just need to put their phone on mute. They'll hear everything we're saying. They just won't be able to talk unless they unmute it, and then they can talk.
5:30, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Roll call, Mrs. Cheryl.
Mr. Page.
Here.
Mrs. Hoover. Mrs. Hoover. Mr. Kilcorn.
Here.
Mr. Cheatwood. Here. Mr. Salter.
Here.
Mrs. Hoover.
Stephen Manson. You made it in?
I don't know, I'm gonna text her. You can go ahead on.
Okay, I'm gonna do a short invocation, and then I'm gonna get somebody to do a pledge. Lord, if we come to you today, you mighty throne, asking you, Lord, to forgive us where we fall short. We ask you to bless this meeting today and make everything that happens be for the good of thy kingdom, Lord. We ask you again to forgive us in Jesus' name. Amen. Mr. Page, you do the pledge part?
Yes, sir.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States.
Stands one nation,
under God,
indivisible,
and
liberty,
liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I was breaking up here.
We have any invite? No, go ahead, Miss Cheryl.
Before you start, I would like to see if the council would amend the agenda. I have 3 items I need to amend it, and I need to do them individually. Is that okay with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the first one is council to consider approving the permanent relocation of the Creston polling precinct from its current location in the Creston voting building located at 5189 Highway 9 to Creston Baptist Church located at 5315 Highway 9.
Excuse me, Madam Secretary, I need to interrupt. I need to interrupt, and this is has nothing. Excuse me, I need to interrupt. If anyone is watching,
This is Pat Hoover. We hear you. Okay.
Okay, if anyone is on the call and watching the live feed, I need for them to not watch the live feed. Not for any other reason than there is a significant delay. Probably 15 seconds. And so you're hearing on your computer what we said 15 seconds ago on the call. So if you don't mute your phone,
I'm just using my telephone, and I got the screen pulled up with the agenda on it.
I understand, but someone else, and I'm not saying it's one of our council people, but if you are on the call and you are not a member of the parish council or giving a report as a department head, please mute your phone.
It's still on there. Someone still is loud.
It's breaking up bad.
Somebody please mute your phone.
Unless you mute your phone, we won't be able to continue.
That's it.
Everybody, please mute your phone. Someone got the computer going in the background. Okay. I'm going to read the first thing. Somebody please mute your phone. amendment, I'm gonna read over, is council to consider.
It's still breaking up, Cheryl.
Somebody still got your computer on. Please mute your phone. Okay. First Amendment. Council to consider approving the permanent relocation of the Creston polling precinct from its current location in the Creston voting building located at 5189 Highway 9 to Creston Baptist Church located at 5315 Highway 9. I need y'all to give me a motion and Mr. Salter carry it through.
I'll make a motion that we add that to the agenda.
We have a motion, a second.
I'll second.
We have
Who
a
was
motion
that?
and a second. Mr. Kilgore and
That was Mr. Cheatwood. Mr. Page?
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn? Mr. Kilcorn?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
No.
Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Pass. Second one. Council to consider authorizing the parish president.
Sarah, I don't think it passed because you have to have 5 to pass.
Do you understand what we're voting on? Because that's very important so those people have a place to go and vote in Missouri.
Well, I think Mr. Cheatwood would like to get with his people first of all to see if that's
He just voted yes.
He voted yes, Ms. Hoover, and the clerk of court has already been out to talk with the people. Yes.
Well, my vote is no.
So we need a 5-0, 5 to nothing to amend the agenda?
Yes.
Yes, you have to have a,
The unanimous vote to put it on
The agenda, okay. All right, well, that one didn't make it.
okay, the second one. Council to consider authorizing the parish president, the computer just went out. Authorizing the parish president to enter into an agreement with Tony Tillman to provide services in the creation and execution of an agreement pertaining to the donation of the Payne subdivision sewer system from Total Environment System Solutions Incorporated.
Mr. Richmond, do you have some comments to make about that?
Sure, that's fine. This is kind of late breaking. You guys passed an ordinance earlier that allows me to work towards moving this into our possession, that being the Payne Sewer subdivision sewer system. And Mr. Tillman, who is on the line, I know it's not the proper time for him to speak, but he can wait and speak at the appropriate time. Mr. Tillman has helped with the transfer of several water districts, helped with the managing of those, and helped with the legal aspects of those. And our district attorney felt as though this was important enough that it was sort of outside of their wheelhouse of expertise, and they thought it important enough to get someone involved who had this expertise. And Mr. Tillman does, and I've talked with him and discussed it with him, and he is willing to accept the challenge. And I'd like to present that in front of the board, because your ordinance says that before we can spend any funds, I have to come back and get those approved by the council.
And that is no cost to the parish?
No, that'll be taken straight from the grant. It'll be cost that'll be associated with the grant and billed to the grant.
Well, let's not leave anything out, because people don't understand, and we need to make it as clear as possible that it is no cost for parish government, and this is to move this project forward that's been delayed 6 or 7 months here now, and it just, I mean, we don't want a pandemic to happen out in Payne subdivision.
And Mr. John, did you not say that Mr. or is it an attorney?
It's attorney.
You talking to John Richmond?
Yes.
Yeah. Mr. Richmond, that attorney, Tillman, he's an attorney.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he's
Yes,
the
he
attorney
is.
that handles the Marthaville water project with the Sabine River Authority, and you have to have the district attorney sign off. The parish government just can't, no other organization basically we can't just reach out and get an attorney to do something. The district attorney office said that it's not within their realm, and we must reach out and hire an attorney to do this, plain and simple.
Well, I just think that we have enough attorneys in Natchitoches to do it. But we have been saying for over a year now, every time something comes up, we have to hire another attorney to do the job. And my vote is no for hiring a new attorney.
Well, we don't even have a motion yet, do we?
No, sir, you don't.
Let's go ahead and get a motion in a second.
I'll offer.
Offered by Mr. Kilcoyne.
Yes.
Okay.
I need a second.
I second Mr. Salter.
Mr. Page, second.
Mr. Kilcorn,
Yes.
Mr. Page,
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood,
Yes.
Mr. Salter,
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover,
No.
that one can't put on the agenda either.
Okay. What's the
The
third?
third one is I'm asking you to amend the agenda to add the minutes from the special meeting for April 8, 2020 to be approved.
I offer.
Offered by Mrs. Hoover,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Kilcoyne.
Mrs. Hoover,
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn,
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood,
Yes.
Mr. Page.
And what are we doing?
This is for the special minutes to be approved.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Mr. Salter.
Yes.
Okay, that's the only one that can be added to the agenda.
Thank you,
Sure.
Okay, that'll come up as item
ma'am.
12.
I have a question. Can I go back and redo my vote on the polling place?
The vote has been taken, and we need to go forward. We don't have all day. Let's move forward.
Chris, that's not your call. Okay.
Wait a minute, yeah, there you go, wait a minute.
I'm asking a question, and I'd like for the president to answer the question for me, please.
The chairman or the president?
The chairman, I apologize, Chairman Salter.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm not real sure if we could even back up and do that.
Exactly.
Do we have the attorney present?
Yes. Can he answer the question?
Yes. I'm asking the attorney at this time.
She can make a motion to add it to the agenda.
To go back and re-vote?
She's making a motion, yes.
Okay. All right, Ms. Hoover, you wanna make that motion?
I make the motion to, what is that agenda item? What is Shirley, would you read it?
My vote would be no.
Shirley, would you read it?
This lady don't understand, and the district attorney office here, no.
Let's go ahead and move on, Ms. Hoover.
Okay, we can go, okay.
We can't spend hours with this one. Let's move on.
Okay, number 5 is invite, let's see, well, we don't invite guests for special presentations, we're not gonna have any of those today. Number 6, report of department heads, no. Is everybody still there?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Johnny Soulard, are you
Do we have
on?
any reports?
We do, Mr. Chairman. We have reports from, assuming they all got on the line, we have reports from each one of the agency heads and the department heads. First one is the Public Works Director.
Okay. Public Works, yeah, Director Johnny Soulard.
Yes, sir. This is Johnny. As y'all can see from my report, we've done a lot of jobs. We did 283 jobs that month. We had no emergency call-outs, and we had quite a few rain days, but we worked around them and found stuff, worked on drainage, worked on culvert, putting out gravel in places we could. If there's any questions y'all would like to ask me, I'm up for questions.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Soulard at this time? Okay, LCS Executive Director, Ms. Sharon Harris.
You all received my report via email. Do you all have any questions or concerns?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Thank you.
Parish Treasurer, Ms. Julie Lockhart.
Yes, sir. You received my reports through email. If anyone has any questions, I'll take them now.
Any questions for Ms. Julie? Okay, Interim Director of Planning and Zoning, Mr. David Keys, Jr.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I sent out my report to Cheryl. I also included this month the actual permits that we've been doing. I'm gonna start including those in there, as well as a comparison with what we're bringing in this year versus what we brought in last year in terms of permit fees. I did want to point out one good thing, that even with all of this virus stuff going around, permits were pretty good in March, and they look to be continuing to be pretty good in April. And I'll take any questions if anybody has them.
Thank you, David. Number 7 is the Parish President, Mr. John Richmond.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have a report. I will forward it to everyone after this meeting. The reason I haven't submitted it already is there is some information that I was waiting to get that I felt very important for the meeting, but I will forward it out to you. I'd like to read it, at least the highlights of it now. Of course, big and first and foremost on our plate is the COVID-19 pandemic. We're having to deal with that, as is everyone across the world. I want the people of the parish to know that all the agencies associated with their parish government here in Natchitoches Parish continue to operate at full capacity. The courthouse is operating under strict social distancing. We're splitting shifts so that we can get people even further distancing from each other. And we also have people working from home when it's appropriate and when that can be done. I think it's important to note that so far that's worked here in the courthouse. We've had a couple of folks who are tested. No one has tested positive that I'm aware of, and we have moved forward with a very safe environment here in the parish government, not just in the courthouse, but in all phases and agencies of the parish government. The latest numbers for Natchitoches Parish are that there have been 55 confirmed positive cases of COVID-19, and there have recently been 1 death. It's important to note that while we don't know everything about that person, and certainly couldn't divulge it if we did due to HIPAA restrictions, it is important to realize that that person was a resident of Natchitoches, but they were not here currently at the time. As a parish, we've been very fortunate. We have low number of cases, even lower number of cases with serious symptoms, and 1 fatality. We're almost an oasis in the middle of the storm or in the middle of the desert. And it's important to realize that it's that way because the good people of the parish who have been working hard to protect those who are most vulnerable around them by social distancing more than anything else, and wearing proper PPE and sanitizing and washing their hands as much as they possibly can. We'll continue to do that, and it's important for folks to understand that the curfew that was instituted a week and a half or so ago is still in place. It's important for people to understand that and to know that our goal is to relinquish that curfew and get rid of it as quick as we can. But we need people to demonstrate their commitment to the health and safety of the parish by staying in between 10 and 5 a.m. There's a lot of risk that can happen in those hours. Everything we can do to limit that risk would be greatly appreciated. It's also important for your to know that your parish government has led the effort in working to coordinate all resources that we have jurisdiction over and work with in the state and in the locales that we monitor. And that includes the law enforcement, Natchitoches Regional Medical Center, the Natchitoches Parish School Board, Northwestern State University, and all the emergency services and 911 center. And in the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, our efforts were geared specifically at planning and making sure that we were covered in case there needed to be more beds needed than Natchitoches Regional had available. Thank God that didn't happen. We didn't need that. So we moved on to other priorities, like getting our school children fed. I want to thank the Natchitoches Parish School Board, and I want to thank our Office of Community Services and Sharon Harris, who leads that. And I want to thank them for stepping up to the plate. I think we fed 1,500 children last week. We'll feed the same or more. And I want to make sure everyone realizes you don't have to be a school kid here in Natchitoches Parish. If you're living in Natchitoches Parish or you're residing here right now, even if you're not in school, if you're 18 years old or younger, you can be fed. There are feeding sites available where you can get free food, free meals, breakfast and lunch, and those are available at the Natchitoches Parish School Board website. You can go and see where those feeding places are. Mr. Chairman, if you'll tolerate just a couple more minutes, I'll give you an update on some of our capital projects. You'll be talking later this evening about Payne Subdivision Phase 2 and the award of that and the hopeful approval from the council on that. It's important to know also that the state capital outlay, while it will continue, I'm sure, whenever the House and Senate go back into session, nothing's going to be done on any of the capital outlay projects or the funding for them until that happens in the summer. We had hoped to get some information on some of our wishes there, but that's not going to happen just yet. The Payne Subdivision sewer improvements, we've already talked about that. We won't go further during this meeting on that. Also, we've had the opportunity to go back as the Parish Council approved and reuse the Trudeau Street building for the new Office of Community Services. We're moving forward. We've got the roof repaired. We're working on the AC, and we've cleaned the floors and going to do the necessary repairs there so that we can get Ms. Harris and her department in there as quickly as possible. Also, it's important to understand that we've got something really good here. The Louisiana Watershed Initiative has approved, and we discussed this a little bit last month, but we have made it to the second round for a project that could help with drainage in the lower part of the parish. But it's necessary to say that we're one of many, about 100 projects that made it to the next level. They will probably only fund 10% of those projects. So we'll stay diligent, we'll keep working, and we'll make sure that we're out there with our voice being loud for Natchitoches Parish, hopefully to get that. Also, Mr. Szilard did not mention, probably didn't want to steal my thunder, that we were granted around $75,000 through a block grant that's going to enable us to rehabilitate some water hydrants out in the Reheimer area. And just as important, it's going to allow us to get a compactor so that we can roll behind our graders on these roads and not have to wait for traffic to lay down every road. We will hopefully be able to lay those down and compact them right behind the motor grader, and that should bring some much needed relief whenever we're grading and rain is imminent in the next couple of days. Mr. Chairman, that's the end of report, but I'm certainly available for questions if necessary.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Rickman at this time?
Mr. Soldier, I'd like to ask a couple quick questions, please.
Go ahead.
Mr. Richmond, upon the getting the old highway department ready for the Office of Community Service, Ms. Harris, I know that at times there will be commodities given over there, and that's a big open space. It's going to have to be, I don't know if it's going to need some ground repair for the parking, because people really go in there pretty desperately, and you're going to have some control over there to assist her in some type of way with the sheriff department or someone. But I also wondered about how getting in and out of there also would be a problem. That's one thing I wanted you to be aware of.
Sure, yes, sir. And we've actually begun addressing that by the layout of how we'll be housing those commodities and distributing them out of the building. And
Okay.
people will literally drive in a U-turn around the building. They'll go in, get their food, commodities, drive around the building to exit, and we'll put in a gravel driveway for that.
Okay, and you'll be doing that, keeping the space with people, keeping the distance, correct distance?
Yes, sir. Social distancing will be at a maximum
Okay.
through that whole process.
Okay.
If they stay in their cars, they should be fine.
Yes, okay. And earlier, we touched on that situation about in Mr. Marty Cheatwood district with the voting poll that you had talked with Mr. David Staney. Is there an election or something coming up where that's a pressing issue that needs to be taken care of this month? Because I don't want to sit here and vote no on something that would hinder this community from moving forward.
Mr. Page, I don't know the exact timing of when it needs to go into the state, and I'm not sure how quickly the state will turn that paperwork around to us approving it. But I can tell you that I would rather it happen sooner than later. It's unfortunate it won't happen tonight.
Well, you know, and that's what I'm saying. If the election or something coming up, it needs to be taken care of. I want to apologize for my madness because I was sidetracked with stupidity, and it made me react to something that I should not, and I never want to do that to where it would hinder anyone in their districts. So if it needs to be put on, I'm willing to be, to stand and say that I apologize for that. And I'm moving on. That's all I have to say.
Anybody else have any more questions for Mr. Richmond at this time? Okay, number 8, adopt the minutes of the regular meeting of the United Parish Council held Monday, March 16, 2020.
And Mr. Talk had the special meeting on it too.
Oh, you want to put that on there with that?
Uh-huh.
Okay, and the special meeting that was held,
April 8th.
April the 8th, 2020?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I need the offer.
Offer, you got an offer, need a second?
Second. Mr. Page?
Yes.
Was that Mrs. Hoover or Mr. Kilcorn?
I think that's Ms. Hoover made the
on second.
offer.
Okay, Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Mr. Kilcorn?
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
Mr. Salter?
Yes.
Pass.
Okay. Number 9, appointments of boards and commissions. Consider adopting a resolution confirming appointment to the following boards of commission. Council to confirm the appointment of Mr. Brian Benefield to replace Mr. Justin Schilling on Fire District Number 1 board.
And I make that offer.
Offered by Mr. Hooper. Second by Mr. Cheatwood. Somebody. Vote on the sheriff.
Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood?
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn?
Yes.
Mr. Page,
Yes.
Mr. Salter,
Yes.
passed.
Okay. Council to confirm the appointment of Mr. Wayne Ocon to replace Mr. Bubba Ivy on Fire District Number 7 board.
I'll make a motion.
Have an offer, Mr. I guess it was Mr. Cheatwood.
Yes, second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Kilcoyne.
Yes.
Okay, let's vote, Cheryl.
Mr. Cheatwood,
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn,
Yes.
Mr. Page,
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover,
Yes.
Mrs. Salter,
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn, you did say yes, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, passed.
Council to confirm the appointment of Mr. John Lewis Morgan to replace Mr. Matthew Faircloth on Fire District Number 1 board.
I'll make an offer.
Have an offer by Mr. Page, second by Mrs. Hoover. Let's vote on it, Cheryl.
Mr. Page,
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover,
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn,
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood,
Yes.
Mr. Salter,
Yes.
passed.
Okay, number 10, first introduction of proposed ordinances. Council to introduce ordinance number 006-2020 to effect the zoning change from 1A Industry Agriculture District to B1 Business District for the purpose of establishing a medical clinic on the 2.62 acre tract of land parcel 006 300, 8500, situated in section 9, township 8 north and range line 9 west along Highway 6 and Road Lane, as shown on the survey attached here to, approved by the Parish Planning Commission on April 6, 2020. I'll get a offer or a second.
Second.
Mr.
Okay,
Kilcorn,
thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Page,
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover,
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood,
Yes.
Mr. Salter,
Yes.
passed.
Okay. Need a motion to go into public hearing or no?
Yes, you need to make a motion.
I need a motion to go into public hearing.
Mr. Salter, I'll make a motion that we are now in public hearing.
Okay, I have a motion.
I'll second that.
Second by Jim Kilcoyne, I think.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn,
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover, Mrs. Hoover,
Yes.
Mr. Salter,
Yes.
Mr. Cheatwood,
Yes.
we're in public hearing.
Okay, I need to read this. Council to adopt orders number 005-2020, creating Natchez Parish Sewage District number 2, establishing the geographical boundaries of the district, and creating a board of commissioners to manage the district, and establishing the makeup and authority of the board. We have anybody questions, any opposition or anything out there? Did you get anything earlier today on it, Carol?
No, I did not get anything at 12 o'clock in my email. I checked it all through the day and I still didn't get nobody to ask any questions.
Okay. At this time, then, if there's no question or discussion, I'll entertain a motion to come out of the public hearing.
I'll make a motion that we come out of public hearing.
Okay, I have a motion.
Second, I'll second it. Yeah.
That's second. Go ahead.
Mr. Page,
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn,
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover,
No.
you don't want to come out of public hearing?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Mr. Speakwood,
Yes.
Mr. Foster,
Yes.
we're out of public hearing.
Okay. Action on this proposed ordinance. Council to adopt ordinance number 005-2020, creating Natchitoches Parish Sewage District Number 2, establishing the geographical boundaries of the district, creating a board of commissioners to manage the district, and establishing the makeup and the authority of the board.
I'll offer, Mr. Sullivan.
Have an offer?
I'll second.
Have a second?
Mr.
Gerald,
Page,
you can, okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Page,
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn,
Yeah. Yes.
Mr. Speakwood,
Yes.
Mr. Salter,
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover,
No.
it's passed.
Okay, there were no resolutions to act on. Number 11 is other agenda items. Council to award contract to Carver Industries LLC of Alexandria, Louisiana, with the lowest bid of $766,943.08 for the resurfacing of Payne Subdivision, Phase 2, and with all three additive alternatives for a total of contract of $848,037.97.
I'll offer, Mr. Sullivan.
I have a question.
Mrs. Hoover?
And my question is that Carver Industries had the lowest bid of $7,943.08. And why are we back to, how did we get to $848,000? How did we end up there? I know they said that somebody said that our clerk made an error. So I want you all to tell me, how did our clerk make an error, and how did we end up at $848,000 with the base bid being $766,000?
Mr. Chairman, perhaps I can give some clarity on that.
Go ahead, Mr. Richmond.
All right, Ms. Hoover, I'll endeavor to answer your question as best I can. When the council approved the $766,943.08 as the base bid, the key word there is the base bid. And I'm not going to say that Cheryl made a mistake, because this is confusing a little bit, because you have to understand that in this bid there were three alternates. Tarver was low on the base bid. They were low on all three of the alternates, making their total for the job the lowest bid of all the contractors, $848,037.97. Now, it's important to note.
Okay, let me ask, can you put a pin right there? Can we say what the other bids were?
Yes, ma'am. I can actually have David Keys pull that email up.
Please?
David, if you wouldn't mind pulling that email up, there was substantial difference. But if you would allow me, while we're waiting on that number, this number is by far the lowest, and it is also in accordance and in line with the funding that's provided through the grant. It also doesn't overextend our matching funds. And so this number, I'm sure you'll see whenever David tells you the three numbers, and that this is by far the lowest. David, do you have that number yet?
Isn't the $766,000 $156,000 is what we approved already, didn't we?
We did, but that was only the base bid. That's like looking at the sticker price of the car before you add on all the add-ons. The $848,000 is what you see at the bottom of the sticker. And all those numbers were included in on the email that we all saw. And, you know, even if Cheryl put it on there, I saw it, I missed it. I'm sure a number of others did also. But, you know, I'll take full responsibility and blame for that error.
So you're actually saying that you're taking blame for us not having all of the information which we needed?
We all had all the information. What we did was overlook one number. And so I will, the buck, I'm okay if the buck stops with me.
Okay, what number was that we missed? I'm just trying to see.
We missed the $848,037.97. That should have been the number in the report.
Cheryl, did you send me something with that number on it?
I sent you the stuff that that Kathy sent to me, of the bid package I sent out at the same time. I wasn't aware of it until when Mr. Barrett sent me an email and saying that we only had the base, that we supposed to have the others on there. And when I realized that, I called Mr. Richmond. Well, he was already in the office, and I told him about Mr. Barrett saying it was not the correct thing, and that's when he said that it was an overlooked thing, and that they probably do a special meeting or they'll wait for the regular meeting. And that's why I sent the emails out to all of y'all with all that information on there.
Okay, so my question again, and I heard you, thank you for that. My question prior to your sending it the second time, really the first time, because did you not send out the 756,000? You did not send out the 848,000. Is that correct?
I sent out the first package that was given.
You said you didn't have it.
No, I sent out the first thing that was sent to me, and that's what everybody got the first.
And how much was that?
I think it was a 7 something. I'm not sure. I'm not looking at it right now.
So, Mr. Richmond,
But
when
the second
did
time,
the 800? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. I apologize, Cheryl. Go ahead.
And the second time, I sent out the email that Nick had sent to me and Mr. Richmond and everybody, and I sent that one out the second time to y'all.
Okay.
And that is explained it all the way up with the 800 something.
So the first time it was not given to us. This is on the second time, after we had voted on it, that we come to the 848,000. Now we have other council members that is sitting there. Now, did you all get something with the 848? And I need you all to tell me, because that means you all are getting the right information and I'm getting the wrong information. I need the other council members to speak.
Mr. Solitaire, I think Mr. Richmond had said that it was a mistake on his behalf between him and Mr. Barrett. This is a project that has been going on for 12 years or better. The people just need to roll.
But that's not the question. Yes, because you want to know if anybody got the 848,000, or did everybody only get the 766,943.08?
I got into an email that when Michelle responded to her, letting her know that it wasn't her fault. Several emails went to Mrs. Hooper the other day through all the council members that she saw and how she's asking the question.
That's not her question, Mr. Page. She wanted to know about the original meeting. We all got the information of 766,943.08. That's all the information we had when we approved this.
And that's what her question is, in that he didn't have it, Mr. Barrett didn't have it at that time, and it was a mistake on their part.
Okay, well that's we're not trying to find. She just wanted to know if we all had the same information, and that's the only information.
Right, and that's what I want the other two council members as well to answer.
Mr.
Mr.
Kilgore?
Salter, including yourself. What did you?
Yes, that's all I had.
Mr. Kilgore, what did you receive?
I received a month ago on the agenda the information for the 766,000. That's all the information we had last month. That's what we voted on.
Mm-hmm.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Mr. Keywood, I'd like to hear from you.
Yes, I got the same information that you got, Ms. Hoover, on the 766,000. That's all that I had, and that's what I voted on at that time.
Okay.
Okay, since we got that answered, Ms. Hoover, are you finished, or you got something else to say?
No, I guess we can go ahead on and take the vote because I'm not voting.
Well, no, here's what I want to know. I don't really feel comfortable about voting on this with this new number that we didn't know about before. I guess I'm going to ask Honey to give me some leeway on this to tell me what we really need to do now. If whatever we're fixing to do, if we accept this number that wasn't on the original bid, are we doing anything that could cause us some problems?
And we're still waiting on David to give us those other bids as well.
Okay, our opinion, is he on the phone?
He is.
Mr. Salter,
Yes.
Mr. Salter, this is Kathy Kramer. The original numbers were all on the original bid that was submitted and received. Those bids were received, and I apologize with this, all this being, I don't have all of the actual bid packages in front of me, but the bids, the total packages that were received at the closing of the bid opening is what was emailed to Clerk Frederick on Friday, and it has the $766,000, and then there are 3 lines below that are alternates. If you add the 766 plus the 3 alternates, I believe that's how you'll get to the 848,000. It was all
Well, I got enough sense to know that, but that's not what we're talking about. We didn't have this 848 information when we voted. We only had 766, 94308.
That was my point. That's my point.
Yes, sir. I just
And
want to
I'll
make
ask
sure
the
that
attorney for his opinion on this. Is he on the line?
Yes, I'm on the line.
Can you see what's going on?
And Mr. Chairman, if you would, since Ms. Kramer is on the phone, let her give us those bids that the 2 other bids, what those numbers were. She was there to give us that, so I'm sure she has those numbers available as well.
Okay, do you have that available, Kathy? She's not even on
Yes, sir.
anymore.
Yes, sir. I'm here, Mr. Salter. I'm trying to pull it up in my email.
If Kathy doesn't have it, I'm looking at it, and I think I've got
Okay,
it.
well, go ahead. You're waiting for it. Okay, we're waiting for it.
These base bids that I'm looking at, now what I'm seeing and what was emailed out does not have the alternate lines in it. It's just base bids. And Carver Industries came in at 766, 94308. Regional Construction came in at 814, 27410. And TL Construction came in at 906,293. Now, I think what part of the confusion may be is that in the letter that is attached to that, Nick Barrett.
David, we just asked you to give us those numbers, and that's not your department. And let somebody with the expertise give us those that information, please, that needs to be given to us, please.
Sure.
I appreciate you very much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
What are we waiting on now, Ms. Hoover?
I'm waiting on the attorney to say what he has to say.
Okay.
Ms. Hoover, I am so confused because y'all are talking over each other. I don't understand if the alternatives, if you would not allow Mr. Keys to explain that. I don't have enough information that
so he should have this information.
No, he did not, no, he's talking about David. Mr. Montour, what we're asking, what I'm asking as the chairman, when we voted on this last month and awarded this contract to Carver, we got the figure of $766,943.08. And we did not have we didn't know anything about the alternatives or anything. We voted, and all I'm asking you, if we go ahead and we don't, they're asking us to make this up to $848,037.97. I'm just wanting to see if there's any problem with us on the legal end of it if we go ahead and accept this as it is today at $848,37.97.
But we have to let him know that we did vote on the 766. That's what we voted on. We did not vote on.
That's what I just told us. That's all we had available.
I think what you voted on, what you had is what you voted on. That's what needs to be approved. If there's some additional bids or parts of the bid, then that information needs to be provided to the council. If it hasn't already, and I thought that's what Kathy was saying, and Cheryl was saying is that it was emailed to y'all. But,
well, we do actually have it now, but it was added on to the original. What now?
Mr. Salter, I couldn't hear you.
Okay, we was given the number of $766,943.08, and you don't have these figures in front of you, evidently. That was the number that we voted on a month ago and awarded this contract to the Carver Industries in Alexandria. And later we was informed that the added alternative for a total contract of $848,037.97 was the actual overall bid to take care of the whole thing. So all I would want to know if we need to redo this some way for to keep us in the clear as far as the bid laws or anything like that.
I think the council needs to be provided with the you can take action on the 766,943 that you've already been presented and you voted on. I think the council needs to consider the alternatives. Mr. Richmond, is there any reason it can't be approved separately?
Not that I'm aware of. Mr. Chairman, may I speak to this matter for just a brief moment?
Yes, sir, and time constraints is another thing I need clarified. If this is going to be a problem, Mr. Richmond, while you're doing this.
Okay, I do not have the answer on time constraints. I don't have the exact answer. My understanding from talking with the contractor, from talking with Mr. Barrett, who has talked with the contractor, is that there are no issues with time constraints. The alternates that were added to the bid, and I'm just trying to establish a couple of facts. You got the 766 number at our last meeting. When the error was discovered, that new information, the better, more complete information, was disseminated to the council. Does all the council now have documentation that leads up to a number of 848,037?
Yeah. I received mine on Friday after I was told that the clerk made an error on what she had sent us. Okay. And after I questioned her as to how she could have made a mistake about it, then that's when we as a council start receiving this other number. So as from Friday to now, we just received it on Friday.
I understand, and with all due respect.
So that means that we have to look at all of the other numbers as well to see what their alternative numbers are too. That's why I asked. But these were base numbers.
And that is correct. And if you will allow me, what I would do if I came into this meeting tonight and with those alternates, I would give you a total price, and we would introduce an agenda item that says council to award contract to Tarver Industries LLC of Alexandria with the lowest bid inclusive of all alternates for the resurfacing of Payne subdivision, and that would be for $848,000. I would be glad to provide a bid tab if you requested it, but in previous meetings sometimes that hasn't happened. That's left to the staff to determine and of course answer any questions relative to it. But our job's on the line to make sure that we do the right thing and give the job to the lowest bidder.
And this is why I'm speaking, because we should be about the right thing. And this is the numbers that we received in the beginning. And if I had not questioned it, then this was brought to us now. So I feel that this should be actually tabled and put on the next agenda, and we vote on it. But at this time, I don't think over $100,000 difference. I don't think we should be voting on that.
But it's not actually over 100, but it's closer to 90. Let me ask the rest of the council how they feel about this, Mr. Hoover, and then we'll see here.
Yes, sir.
Everybody, I'm going to start with Mr. Page. He's up there, and are you comfortable with doing this way, Mr. Page? There's no time constraint?
No, I don't have a problem with this at all. If this is money that has been sent to do the work by the state.
Chris, we already know. We want you to answer the question.
Look at that. And whoa. Wait a minute. I'm in charge here right now. I just asked if you feel good about going ahead with it, Mr. Page. That's all I need to know.
Yes, I do, Mr. Salter.
Okay. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Yes, I am.
Do you have any you feel?
I feel perfectly fine voting tonight on the additive of bringing it up to 848. Seen all the information. We could vote next month, and month after I'm going to vote the same way. So there's no change.
Understand. Yes. And Mr. Chigwood?
Yes, Mr. Salters, I don't have a problem with it. I feel 100% comfortable in voting for it tonight because I kind of read through it and I got a good understanding of it. Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, I got the understanding, but I was going into the legal aspect of it with when Mr. I'm sorry I can't remember our attorney's name sometimes, but when he told me, he felt good about the 766, and if there's no time constraint, maybe we could bring this up later and vote on it.
Mr. Chairman, I want to make sure that Mr. Chairman, I feel the need to speak.
Okay, is this Mr. Richmond?
It is, yes, sir. I want to make sure that I want to make sure my words are properly understood and not misconstrued or misunderstood.
Okay.
When I made my statement about time constraints, that statement was in regard to the contractor completing the work in a timely manner in accordance with the contract. I do not know the answer if we delay this another month, if that will affect the timing of the project. I don't know that. So I want to be clear there.
Okay.
Mr. Salter, I think before all this got started, I made a motion real quickly, and then we went into a question from Mrs. Hoover. And as of the time, my motion is still out there for this particular measurement that's on the agenda tonight.
And after
you made a motion. You made a motion to vote on this as it is now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, but let me go ahead and see if we're gonna get a second on this.
I'll
He's
second.
already made the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on D.
Mr. Page,
Yes.
Mr. Kilcoyne,
Yes.
Mr. Cheekwood,
Yes.
Mr. Salter,
I'm gonna vote no.
Mrs. Hoover.
No.
It passed.
Okay. D, council to award the bid for the following highway items. Base course aggregate SB2 goes to Madden. We do these individually, Cheryl, or you want to do them all together?
If no one have a problem with it, probably doing it all together, we can do it all together. If we want to do it, it's all going to the highway department. And on that, you just need to let the council know that the crushed stone is going to be awarded to Madden.
Well, yeah, we got Madden right beside it here.
Okay, for crushed stone?
Yeah.
That's for
Base course
the,
aggregate SB2.
what she means, Mr. Chairman, is that crushed stone, item number 3, is a separate item. That's
Okay,
actually,
I see it now.
yeah.
It's not,
Yeah.
it's for Madden.
Okay.
Now you can do it all together now, and the council can vote on it, and when you read through them all.
Okay, base course aggregate SB2 to Madden, bottom manage to Chara, crushed stone to Madden, stone rip wrap, 3" by 5" to Big 4, stone rip wrap 30-pound rock goes to Madden, base course aggregate gluconite, surface course green rock to Big 4, guilty clay soil, FFT trucking, that's the soil for our solid waste department over the limb pit. Brother blade goes to Doggett. DEF fluid, which is diesel fluid for the diesel engine, Fastenal. Offered by Mrs. Hoover.
I'll second it.
It's second by Mr. Cheekwood, I think.
Yes, sir.
Mrs. Hoover,
Yes.
Mr. Cheekwood,
Yes.
Mr. Page,
Yes.
Ms. Kilcoyne,
Yes.
Mr. Salter,
Yes.
passed.
12, go ahead. Visitors for non-agenda items. Do we have any visitors at all? We don't have any visitors, no comments. Okay, 13, I need a motion to adjourn.
Now, Mr. Thompson,
Hey,
it's Carolyn Roy.
hey,
I have a question.
okay, hope it ain't personal.
Well, I can't promise that. Okay, on the ordinance that you passed about the sewer district in Payne, what's the next step on that? When will that get started?
Let's see, well, this is set aboard now. The other motion that didn't make it on the agenda about the attorney that was trying to work the deal out with Tessie. So now we're going to have to find some other way to get somebody to deal with them. But all this here, we did form, or we did okay the District 2 sewage district tonight.
I know that, but how will that get started? Will you appoint a chairman? What will you do?
You know, we don't appoint a chairman, we appoint board members. And did you get a copy of the ordinance?
No, I just have what's on the agenda.
Okay.
Carolyn, I can send that to you.
Can somebody provide her with a copy of that ordinance where she can understand what we did tonight?
I'll do it, Mr. Salter.
All right, thank you
And
very much.
That will answer your questions, and we made some revisions on it about the domicile, and we made it clear that there would be board appointed by the parish president. It wasn't real clear in there that it had to be on the approval of the council, but still, that's the way all of them work when we appoint board members, and, from that body of 5 people, they will choose a chairman amongst that 5, and they'll move on to do business, and, we've given them 6 domiciles, and we're going to aid them in any way we can from now until that 6-month period's up.
Okay, if I can get a copy of that from David, that will explain a lot then.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Did I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn, Sergeant.
Motion by Mr. Page to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Got a second by Mr. Cheekwood.
Mr. Page,
Yes.
Mr. Cheekwood,
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover,
Yes.
Mr. Kilcorn,
Yes.
Mr. Salter.
Yes. Thank you.
Did you stop the audio?
No, I did not. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I got it. Actually, I don't think I've even stopped the live stream yet. I'm gonna go do that.
Yes, sir. No, I think you did real well. Only difference between you and me, I bet my phone.